Hey y'all, this is Janine with Pathfinders Downsizing Solutions, and I have with me, we haven't done a virtual interview in a while, but I have with me somebody that I'm super excited to have created a partnership with, and his name is Vance McCutcheon. He is the VP and CFO of Food Force, and it's a really cool food bank that's in the Tampa Bay market, and I want to talk about it. So Vance, thanks for coming and waking up this morning and getting some coffee and having a good time with me. So anyway, tell us about Food Force. What's your mission? What's going on? What's the deal?
Well, we're kind of different. Thanks for having us, and always up early. We're always busy, so we're never sleeping. Florida Food Force is a food bank that when we started in Georgia, it's called United Food Force in Georgia. We have two, one here and one in Georgia. When we started, we were providing food and resources to churches, pantries, shelters, foster programs, veterans programs, senior programs. But early on, the employees of these organizations came to us and said the food is not getting to the people fast enough. And we're like, okay, well, that's a concern because obviously we want the biggest footprint we can have and we want the food to get to the people as quickly as possible. And the employees said, well, can we just join the food bank like the organizations do and then just take the food directly to the people? So we were like, okay, well, let's check on that. And so we piloted that for a bit, about 3 months, and it took off like gangbusters. We went from serving about 1,000 people a month to serving about 40,000 people a month.
Oh
So
my.
what we realized is that as cynical as I am about humanity, for all the good reasons, I do know now that everyone's willing to help another human, but only under two conditions. A, they have to have the means, otherwise they can't do anything. But B, they have to be properly motivated, as in, who should I be helping and why should I be helping? So when we basically changed our entire business model back in 2014 in Georgia before we came to Florida. And now we opened it up to just average Joe America can join our food bank to serve themselves. But most importantly, whoever joins our organization, they have to be willing to help another human being in need. God
So is
made
it
a really
a
easy
membership
deal with
thing?
us. Huh?
Is it like a membership thing?
It is.
Okay.
The reason is we have to know how many people are coming to get the food. We can't just guess when 1,000,000 pounds comes in, do we have a way to get rid of 1,000,000 pounds? So it's a registration process so we can kind of have a head count about how much food we have to have and do we have an exit strategy to get it out of the facility as quickly as possible to get it to the people that are in need. So whether or not you're a $50 million a year church that can join for $150 a month, or you can join as just a group of 6 families for $150 a month. We took the boundaries out because it wasn't fair for some huge organization to get $3,000 or $4,000 worth of food a month from us, but average Joe America didn't have access to it. So when we changed that business model, we real quickly, like I said, went to serving 40,000 people a month. So we realized we were onto something good because everyone was excited to take care of themselves, but most excited to go help somebody else in need. We're all about the give. There's plenty of programs out there, unfortunately, that if you want to register, not us, and you can get food and not serve anybody else. Very self-serving situation. But God made a really easy deal with all of us. He said, if you want a blessing, you got to be a blessing. So everything we do is predicated on the give. There has to be action behind receiving a blessing. We can't just sit around and just take from everything around us. We have to actually go do something for somebody else.
What a great message we need right now too. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's, my adult life, especially doing this, I would see people come up in a Mercedes or a brand new truck, way nicer than anything I've ever had, and receiving help. And I'm just scratching my head thinking, does that seem right? Well, I'm not one to judge, so I'm not going to say anything to anybody about that. What I know that we can do is we want to get in touch with everybody that's receiving and make sure they're being good stewards of the blessing and turn around and go and helping somebody else.
And
Just
how do
like,
you do that?
well, the easiest way is that if a person signs up to go to a pantry or just visits a pantry to get some assistance that week, that's a nice thing. They give you a box or a bag of food, and then you come back in 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever their program dictates. And you have to live in their city, their county. You have to have kids, no kids, this age, not age. Too many rules and regulations, too much red tape. We took all that away. We are willing to help anybody with food to take care of themselves, because quite honestly, let me pull off here a second. When I first had children many years ago, in the church, the lesson was your kids don't come first. That's a pretty hard pill to swallow when you're brand new parents. You're thinking the kids come first. Well, actually, it's the opposite. The lesson was that if you're not okay as a parent, you're absolutely not okay to your child. So that was the lesson. So we kind of use that same message here. We want to help families be okay and take that worry, that burden of food insecurity off of them. So if they're okay, they can actively be in a good spirit and good mindset to go help somebody else in need as well. So there's a lot of teaching and mentoring and encouraging and pushing and prodding and demanding, because we want people to realize that they are good to somebody else. And I get it. I've been in situations, and many of us have, that when you're in dark, tough times, you're not thinking about anybody else. And I get that. And that's okay for a brief moment. Because the scary part is, if we lock ourselves up in our four walls and we're only worried about our concerns, our issues, our problems, then we don't have room for anybody else in our life, because we're consumed with ourselves. So we try to break that. When people come to us for help, the first thing we say is, could you use some extra food? And they say yes. The very first lesson we teach is, we don't give them what they ask for or what they need. We give them double what they ask for or what they need. And we ask them, who can you share the extra with? Immediately, the very first lesson.
That's
So
awesome.
anybody that receives from us has to name or come up with whoever they're going to go help with all the extra food. Because God says, if you give 2 loaves of bread, what do you do with the second one? You share it. You're not supposed to store or hoard. So let's talk about storing and hoarding for a moment. If we store and hoard food and we don't want to go help anybody else, clothing, furniture, junk, whatever we store and hoard, we don't have room for God to bring anything else into our four walls or into our space.
You and
So
I have
God,
talked about a God hole before, I think, if I remember right, because this is one of my things. Everybody has a God hole, and you fill it with the distractions
things.
that keep us from being in a great relationship with God. And that could be gambling or drinking or stuff, the collecting of stuff or food or, any kind of anything imbalance. When it's out of balance and stuff like that, then we know we got a God hole problem.
Absolutely. So we
Awesome.
try to teach that lesson early on. If whoever wants help from us, they have to be willing to help somebody else. That's the only way they start receiving food. So we have 3 programs. One is they can volunteer for food. So that program is set up that on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, they can come in and volunteer for 2 to 6 hours and receive food and take it home and be satisfied that day, that week, that month. But at least they worked for it. Right? It wasn't just given. And it makes them feel good. It makes them feel a part of something. The greater part of what the volunteer program is that if someone is not, if they're in that dark space and they're not social and they're not hearing us say, look, I'll give you 2 loaves of bread, or you want to share your second one, if they're just not hearing that message because they're so locked up in their 4 walls, very tight, and they're not willing to think about anybody else, I get that. That's okay. But we have to work within that weakness too, that stronghold. So we offer to say, look, are you out of work, looking for work? Do you have some spare time? Do you need food every week? And they say, yes. And we say, great. Come volunteer on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, 2 to 6 hours, and actually take food home that day. Okay, I'll do that. The moment they say yes, that's the starting process. Obviously, if someone is saying no as you're talking to them, they're not hearing anything you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The day they come in and volunteer that one time, they're a part of a collective order out there in the warehouse. You know, they're out there counting, sorting, stacking, staging, cleaning, sweeping, mopping, whatever it is, but they're a part of something other than themselves. They start to open up. They start to be a little more social. Hey, my name is Lucy. Hey, my name is Tom, you know, and the next thing you know, they're done with their day and they take that food home. And in the moment they walk to their door and they bring something home that they just earned, they feel good about themselves again. And that's what we're looking to do. We want to lift people out of their situation instead of perpetuating and pushing them back down at their situation. I like to think that there's no value in giving something to someone for free, other than birthday and Christmas presents, I might add. You can look mine up and send me gifts all you want on birthday and Christmas. But day-to-day life, it kind of weakens the spirit. I know that if my mom bought me a brand new black Trans Am, you know, when I was a teenager, I probably would have totaled the car in 6 months. But making me earn my way and buy my own vehicle, I took better care of it. So I like to think that everyone kind of needs to work for something instead of just receiving something. They got to be a part of it. And we want people to feel like they're needed, wanted, and desired. So going back to them taking that food into their home, they feel fantastic. Then they got a smile on their face and like, ooh, that felt good. I feel good. I think I'll go back and volunteer again. Then they're actively volunteering. They're actively providing food for their home with children, no children or otherwise, but at least they're actively participating and providing for their family, and they feel really good about themselves. So that's program number one. Program number two, which is our main program. Three is whether or not you're a church, pantry, and organization. But program two is what we're known for. We like to think we're the food bank for average Joe Americans, the ones that are out there hardworking, paying the taxes, and we're doing our best to make good decisions, and just bad stuff happens. Okay, whether or not we made good or bad, it's not for us to judge. All we can do is keep encouraging people to do the next right thing. So in that one, we level the playing field and we'll allow any group of people to join the food bank as a group socially. I like to always say, because I speak all over the country and people will say, yes, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, and they'll raise their hand, hallelujah. And I'm like, okay, well, who's in your village? Well, what do you mean? Well, what's your village do? Well, I don't understand. I'm like, well, you have to have a village. There has to be an active village before we start saying, hey, it takes a village. Well, let's get into the village first. Villages long ago were perfect by design for a lot of reasons. Number one, they were social.
Yep.
Social is a good thing. We're born social creatures meant to take care of one another. We're not born to be inverted and not think about anybody else. That's just not who we are naturally. So having our program be social is designed how the villages were long ago. The other important aspect of the village is there were no secrets. In small towns, there were no secrets. In small villages, there's no secrets. In today's time, people go, well, I don't even talk to my neighbors. Oh, my family stopped talking to me 8 years ago. Okay, well, that's an issue, because if you're not being social, I like to tell people, if you're living in this box and inside this box is where you're at, if you're not reaching outside your home and talking to somebody else, helping somebody else, I promise you, no one's reaching back into your home and helping you either. So we try to teach that lesson to get social. It means everything in the world to somebody. So the village is social. There's no secrets. I knew everything about you. You knew everything about me. I didn't have to like you and love you. I didn't have to have dinner with you every night, but at least I knew everything. The critical part about that in our humanity and how we connect people is that God gave everybody gifts He didn't give to the next person, right? I got gifts you don't have. You've got gifts that I don't have, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the unique thing. If we're not social with one another, if we're not talking to one another at least weekly, like our program is designed to do, if I don't know anything about you, I don't know what it is I can even do for you.
Well,
So
right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that connection, that understanding the well that we all have. And yeah, that's awesome.
We're talking about gifts as small as anything. You know, I like to talk about the story in the Bible. Did God favor the millionaire that gave $1 million? Okay, that had 10 million, or did He favor the guy that had 2 pennies and gave a penny? So the gift can be very small. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be a check. It doesn't have to be money. A gift could be your cat died, I console you. The gift could be I carry your groceries in the house and I walk away and you say thank you. It could be anything. It doesn't
Right.
have to be substantial, but a gift needs to start from somewhere, from any level, and then let it grow. You know, plant the seed within yourself and be a gift to somebody else. If
Yeah,
you're a gift to somebody else, I promise you, somebody's going to be a gift back to you. That's just how life
absolutely. And my dog agrees with you too.
is. Don't worry. The mailman's probably coming by shortly and mine's going to be barking.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool. Well, so how do we get what geographic, let's see, what geographic area do you cover? And just in the Tampa Bay market or
Remember in the beginning,
in the
no
Georgia?
red
But I
tape.
mean, are you all
No
over?
red tape. You could live in Texas and drive to Florida and get food from us if you're serving somebody else. We have zero red tape. So it doesn't matter what county, locale, state, or otherwise. It's all about, can you get there to get the food? Or are you going to take it back and go serve somebody else?
Cool.
So that's the most attractive part about what we do, is that we have no restrictions. The only guideline we go on is, are you willing to go help somebody else? That's the main thing.
So how do we connect with you guys then?
It's real easy. So either A, you can come to the office and visit. Everyone is eligible to get a one-time free emergency food box. We're not a pantry, we're the food bank. We're the ones that have all the food, and we give the food to all organizations that go help the people. But we're not designed as a pantry. But if somebody makes it to us and needs food, obviously we're going to give them food. The biggest connection we want is we want to meet somebody at least once, give them plenty of food, more than they need, tell them to go share the extra. First gift that we give to them. Second thing is we tell them how to get involved socially. So as example, the most popular part about what we do, me, a neighbor, a coworker, a church member, a family member, or otherwise, 3 to 6 families could come together collectively and say, could we use more food? The answer is yes, we all could.
Yeah.
The other answer is, could we all use a pay raise? The answer is yes, we all need a pay raise in any capacity. Well, those 2 questions would always be a yes. That's perfect for us, because if 6 families joined us for $150 a month collectively, 6 families splitting $150 a month is $25 a piece. But to get food every Thursday. Now, I don't know about you, but if you told me when I was 20 years old, I could come up with $25 a month and feed my entire household weekly for $25 a month, sign me up.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. Now, the realization of that is that group has a responsibility of sending a driver to our facility every Thursday at an assigned 30-minute time slot, full service. They just drive through, we load the vehicle. It's not a pick and choose. It's not a grocery store. You can't request or deny anything. It's whatever came in is going in that vehicle that week. So all 400 cars get the same thing. They drive out, go back, split it up between their 6 families. Now, we said earlier that if they're not okay in their household, food security wise, they're not okay to help anybody else. We give these groups of families too much food on purpose. I see puppy. We give those families too much food on purpose so they have enough to in turn go help 6 other families. So now the 6 families in the group is helping an additional 6 or more families, because you're coming every Thursday getting a carload. The food doesn't stop coming and you can't eat it as fast as we're giving it to you. Plus you run out of storage because we give a lot of frozen, refrigerated, and dry goods away. So you got all this extra food this group has. They have to have an outlet. They have to figure out how they're going to give it away. So in the beginning, encouraging them to teach and share and pay it forward is very important, very critical. Now, when I said they need a pay raise. 6 families putting in $25 a piece. Well, typically, if I were spending $600 to $800 a month on groceries before I did this, but now to my $800, I took $25 out, I still have $775 cash in my pocket that I used to spend on groceries. Now, we don't supply everything. We're not going to get the diapers you may need that week, or the eggs you need that week, or the milk you need that week. But all the money you're saving monthly frees up money to get what you need, but also frees up a lot of cash flow to pay the power bill, pay the car payment, go to the doctor for the first time in a long time, pay for childcare so you can work more hours, or whatever it is you need to do. But it immediately creates a little more cash wealth in all these households. That's what they're reporting to us and have for years. So for 8 years we've been doing this. Everybody that's involved is realizing more cash flow with doing nothing different other than joining a food program that is social and sharing with others. So it's a win-win-win all the way around.
I'm so excited about this. I can't, it's so cool. So I know you got a website too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Just go to floridafoodforce.org, or you
Okay.
can call us anytime, 727-261-7422. The office is open Monday through Wednesdays, 9 to 3. The office is closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday is our food giveaway day every week. We give away 1 million pounds of food. Last year, between both food banks, we gave away 50 million pounds of food. Currently, at the Odessa location here in Florida, we load 400 cars a week, but those 400 cars outreach is reaching over 54,000 people a month. So that's a
Man,
huge footprint of people getting help out there. And they're all happy because they're serving somebody.
exactly. And I don't know, but I can't think of a quicker, more genuine way of creating community than food. I mean,
Yes. We tell everybody, if someone in my family dies, you're going to make me a dish of food and bring it to me. If I
yeah,
come visit you from out of town, you're going to make me dinner. Food is that common thing that brings us all together. We have to have food and air. So we like to think we got 50% of what you need every single day, and we use that food to encourage better social behavior. What a
yeah,
beautiful idea.
I know. Oh man, I feel the love. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Well,
Now, this is especially important for seniors, so let's talk about that.
yeah,
Think about it. We know a lot of seniors that need to be a part of something like this. Now, they have diet restrictions and all that. I get that. But even these groups of families, where not there's 3 senior households and 3 younger households, they combine. Villages are not made of all the same people. Villages are all kinds, all walks. And we ask everybody to mix your village up and include these seniors. Because quite frankly, I know a lot of Joes and Marthas, by the time they pay their bills, they got $10 left to eat.
yeah,
That's not good. But they need to be a part of a program like this. So if we got 5 families and we recognize Martha, who only has $10 a month, great. Martha, you put in $2 a month, we'll pick up the rest, and you'll get your share of food every week as well. It's pennies for everybody. It's not a lot of money. So it doesn't
right.
matter if Martha put in $2 or $30. It's really not relative.
And they're building that community. So
Yes.
it's awesome for shut-ins. It's awesome for,
Yes.
I mean, and how I know that, we've got clients because we typically help our clients downsize and move into senior communities. But even sometimes in the senior community, they're just, as they transition in, or maybe before they go, they're really quite isolated, especially with COVID and everything that's been going on the
Absolutely.
last couple of years. So they really need that social touch, that love touch, and this is awesome. This
And
is
we have
so
a
awesome.
lot. I have one senior. She visited last year. She came from Citrus County, retired, didn't have anything to do for a living. She came down, got the one-time free emergency food box, told her about the program, and I could just see the light come on all over her face. She went back to Citrus County, told her entire community they now get 6 carloads a week.
Oh
Okay,
man.
1 carload a month is $150 a month to get a carload per week. They're getting 6, which is $900 a month. 1 carload a month or week equals $1,000 to $3,000 worth of food a month, because it varies, depends on the donations. So
Right.
if 1 carload is $1,000 to $3,000 worth of food a month, there's 6 carloads a week equals $6,000 to $18,000 worth of food a month for
That's
$900. So that whole community is getting $6,000 to $18,000 worth of food a month for $900 a month, and their whole community is pitching in dollars and fives and tens. So the lady came back so overjoyed. She goes, "This is the best thing I could ever do being retired, because now I'm meeting so many more people in the community. I got all these people that are helping one another. Everyone's giving. Everyone's happy. Everyone's got food. No one's food insecure. Best thing I could ever done being retired." So everyone's got their own mission when they join. They'll help just seniors, just their community, just their family, just school teachers, just nurses, after school, whatever it is that touches them, that moves them, whatever program they want to get involved with, it's totally up to them. We just want them to do something for somebody else. Long ago, I will say this real quick. Long ago, a very wise old man, this is about 30 years ago, he goes, "Vance, you're a really nice guy. You do wonderful things. You always will. He goes, but I don't want you to think less of yourself. I just want you to think of yourself less. That's profound. That's overwhelming. So
Yeah.
I've been chasing that statement my entire life. And now I've come to realize is I just spend all my time helping everybody else. God will give me whatever I have to have, whatever I need. And I don't need anything. You know, I'm so overwhelmed that we get to help 100,000 people a month in 3 states. It's just a
That's
beautiful thing.
so terrific. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for your time. And oh, I'm just so overjoyed. I can't wait to spread the news about y'all and how it can impact a community. It can change a community.
It changes people. And for one
Yeah.
example, this lady came in and she goes, well, look, this doesn't work socially for me because I was abandoned here in Florida and I don't know anybody. I said, okay. So I explained to her the box. If you don't reach out, no one's going to reach back. And she says, okay, I'll take a chance. I let her join as an individual with the promise she was going to go immediately and get people to join her group with her. She came back 3 weeks later, bawling, crying. She goes, had I not taken a chance to do this, sorry, I get emotional.
Yeah.
She goes, I wouldn't have met the lady 2 doors down from me that I never knew before. She'll be my best friend for life. But had I not got outside my 4 walls and knocked on some doors, I never would have met her. This program saved my life. So there's just so many different stories about how this impacts people.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We talked the first time we talked, we realized that we both had Georgia roots, and Renee and I have Georgia roots together too. And you know, I don't know. There's something about
Good old Southern people.
I
No, I'm just
know.
kidding. I'm not saying that good, bad, or different. I'm drawing a line in the sand. We're just good old Southern people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But taking care of family and making your family bigger. Right.
Yeah, make it a community, make it a village.
Absolutely. Well, hey, it's Friday. I don't know when this is going to actually run, but it's Friday. So you just started my weekend a day early. So I thank you so much for your time and for being able to share this. And
Oh, we're so blessed.
oh my gosh, it's incredible, incredible. So Food Force, y'all check them out. And the website is
www.floridafoodforce.org.
.org, guys.
Yes,
So
.org.
thank you, Vance. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, you're so wonderful. Well, I really appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to share this story. Naturally, we don't advertise. We have 1 million pounds of food to give away every month because, quite frankly, we'd have to fight all the bad people off. Not saying in a bad way, but that's just the truth of humanity. So,
Yeah.
you know, we just like to know that we just speak the truth and act on it. And we just want to encourage good people to hang out with good people and do great things.
Awesome. Awesome. Be blessed.
Thank you so much. Have a
Okay.
wonderful day.
You too, darling.
All right, bye.